So there's fireworks. It was funny. I used to say to my ex-wife, I want there to be fireworks every time I walk out of the house. Why? Because I recognize myself as a divine being. And I feel, this isn't anything new, by the way. I just have a massive ego. Thank you, Hashem. But can you even see them? I don't know. Oh, anyway. You can probably hear them at least. But I've always thought very highly of myself. And I used to say to my ex-wife, every time I walk outside the house, I'm blessing the world with my presence, and so they should have fireworks every time I walk out of the house. So it is. Alright, so, my lord. You know, this is a sexy song. I feel like we should put this on loop. Alright, Shem. We need to figure some shit out, because I'm like... Alright, very good. Very good. Because I just went outside for a cigarette, and I'm kind of like bugging out a little bit. So I did all the things that I needed to do today. Thank you, Hashem. I cleaned my bedding. I washed all my sheets and my blankie. And I moved along with chapter 4 of book 1 of Aristotle's Posterior Analytics, which picks up where we left off in book 2 of Aristotle's Prior Analytics, which is the continuation of where we leave off in Aristotle's On Interpretation. That is the follow-up for Aristotle's categories. What's fun about that is that when we started categories last year, last February, last March, somewhere around there. No, yeah, well, it took me a month and a half to get through categories because I rewrote the whole thing out as I was working with it. So when I say that I'm working with a book, when I'm working through or with a particular book, what that means is I'm writing it. I'm rewriting it. Because I'm a slow learner, and when you're working with Aristotle, who fits about a novel's worth of information into one sentence, my preferred method of studying Aristotle was writing out sentence by sentence, but in between each sentence, I write a commentary in that I write, what the fuck, what is he talking about right here? And I kind of just put the pieces together in my head and just try to figure it out on my own. For good reason, because there's not a... As far as I'm aware, there's no experts in Aristotle that I trust. And I figured the way that I'm looking at it is, if you want to understand the man and his work, don't rely on someone else to teach you how to understand him. Go right to him. Understand, figure it out for yourself. Kind of like what I do with Torah. What the hell? And so one of the opening portions of categories talks about predicates and predicables, that which is predicable of, that's that which is predicated on, because to be predicable of is equal to being predicated of, but predicated on is the opposite of predicable of. Man is predicated on animal, but animal is predicated of man, or predicable of man. So when you say that something is predicable of something, it's the same thing as saying that something is predicated of something. What the fuck is this? I hate when people are around. Well, it gets me distracted, and then I forget what I'm talking about. And this is kind of important right now because of everything we were just working on prior to coming out here. For fuck's sake! Oh, this is nothing. There used to be these 3 asshole dogs. This house right here. This house wasn't always here. There used to be another house, a smaller house. And there was these 3 asshole dogs. And every time I would fucking walk by, those motherfuckers would go wild. They'd talk some heavy ass shit. I don't mind dogs. But those 3 motherfuckers, oh my god, I wanted to beat the shit out of them. Just ruthlessly just tear into them. Especially the one. There was a ringleader, and that motherfucker, he would bust my balls every fucking time I walked by that motherfucking house. I don't know what the hell happened, but one day I came out, I was going for my walk, and the house was fucking knocked down. It was the best day of my life. I knew those dogs were gone. There was 3 of them, but like I said, it was the one ringleader. That nigga was just a fucking asshole. You can't call a dog an asshole. Yeah, you can. Because that dog was an asshole. Just come on, man. I just want to walk without fucking people being around me. Alright. Aristotle, predicables, predicates. Yeah, so in like I think it's the opening chapter of categories where Aristotle's getting into predicates, and I have no idea what the hell a predicate is. I didn't at the time. It took me, I think it took me a good 4 or 5 days. I'm just fucking with that opening chapter, which is only maybe a couple paragraphs long, but I had no idea what the fuck he was talking about. I mean, I'm familiar, I know the term predicate. It's a grammar term, elementary grammar. But the context that he's using it in is not the context. It's not the fucking context that you learn in elementary school. Yeah, I mean, it is, but it isn't. He takes very flat, very bland concepts that we know today and expands on them in ways that you don't normally think to put those subjects to use. So in posterior analytics, we're learning the difference between essential premises and coincidental or accidental premises. But premises are composed of predicates. And he's given these examples of predicates, and I'm just like, what the fuck? I think the first example that he gives, if I can't remember, I'll just break it. I got the book in my pocket. It's on my phone. The walking thing is white. But because we're focused on the walking, the essential predicate is the walking. It's just a coincidence. It's just coincidental that walking thing is a white thing. But at the same time, that thing isn't necessarily white, as in it has the quality of white, but it isn't white. It could be any color. It just happens to be white. What's essential is that walking thing is walking. The walking thing that walks is white. But then he takes it a step further, because that's still not really driving his fucking point home. Well, look, can you help me remember? Okay, so an essential predicate is this is his example. It's not mine, not God's. It's Aristotle's example. Thank you, my lord. I'm reading this. I'm writing it out, but I'm reading it and writing it at the same time. But because I write it out, and it takes longer to write it out, it's painting a very vivid picture in my mind. But the example he gives of an essential predicate is, it goes, if a beast dies while you're slitting its throat, that is an essential predicate, in the sense that the death is predicated on the slitting of the throat. It's not coincidental. But then his previous example of a coincidental predicate, the man walks and the thing is lightened. So try to imagine, because we are talking about 2,400 years ago, try to imagine that what he's saying is a man's walking and a street light comes on as he comes near it. The idea is that, what is this little guy? You stay here. Don't follow me. Oh. Go home. So the light was turned on not because the man walked by. It was just a coincidence that as he was walking by, that the light turned on. That's a coincidental / accidental predicate. So predicates, from what I'm understanding, based on the Aristotelian form of predication, is that each predicate is a link in the chain of predication that composes the matter of the form / essence of a thing. the matter. So when he uses the term matter, and see, this is the tricky part with Aristotle, because he's talking in a completely foreign language, but you have to think outside the box a little bit. So when he's talking about the matter of a thing, so the matter of Derek, like what what is the matter of Derek composed of? And not literally physicality. What he's talking about when he talks about matter is the four-dimensional timeline that composes my body, my form. And my form may not necessarily does not necessarily mean my physical form, but that which is me. Because this dude, he's thinking at the bare minimum, his thought processes are four-dimensional. So the timeline of Derek is the matter that composes the form and essence of Derek, the nature of Derek. So try to imagine an intangible Derek that serves as a container, a vessel for my entire chain of predication. And that chain of predication is, like I said, the four-dimensional timeline that began on the day of my conception, which was probably around November 19, the third of the month of November in 1979. So from the moment of conception, that's where the chain of predication of Derek begins. But not necessarily so. Not necessarily so. Because if we take into consideration the conception, when my father's golden sperm penetrated my mother's golden egg, that was technically the first step, the first link in the chain. But then we can actually go backwards, because within that sperm cell and within that egg cell was contained the essence, the matter, form and essence of my mother and my father converging into one super being. Think in terms of genetic memory, ancestral memory. So if you get like a genetic test done, it'll show you like a map of where your ancestors came from. Essentially, that's your matter, because all that history is encoded within your genetic sequence. God, I fucking love me. I know what I'm talking about. Don't worry about it. Like, if you don't understand it, my lord. I might need you to back me up on this one.
This way.
Yeah, man. So when we're trying to give examples of Aristotelian logic, and we say something like the matter, we're not talking about the physical matter, the physical substance, necessarily. We're talking about the four-dimensional substance, the intangible substance that composes the thing in question. So, each link in that chain of predication is itself a predicate that is predicated on and predicable of. Predicated on the predicate that came before it. It predicated on the predicable of which it's predicated on, but also predicable of the predicate that is predicated on it. If you can think of a chain, each link in the chain is predicated on the chain, on the link. Each link of the chain is predicated on the link it's attached to and predicable of the link attached to it. Now we can condense and expand on what each of those links of predication represent within the greater chain of predication. Now we say chain of predication. I just like saying chain of predication because it sounds cool. I'm not misusing the words. That's the way to put it. But what I'm trying to say is we can exchange. If saying chain of predication is like way too cool for you and you're like, what the fuck? You can also say chain of causation, chain of causality. But when it comes to someone like Aristotle, again, when we're talking about the chain of predication or the chain of causality, we also have to understand that he's not just thinking 4-dimensionally, but he's also thinking 5-dimensionally as well. Because when you really get into the matter of something, did I come here just in time for fucking people just to be walking around at 9 o'clock at night? The fuck? So, sorry, Hashem, thank you for putting me on the path of these people. I don't mind them at all. It's just that they're getting in the way of my thought process, and it's kind of fucking me up. So I kind of had like a nice flow going, but now I gotta like think about this fucking dude on the bike. I gotta watch out, make sure he doesn't fucking steer into me. Which it looks like this fucking jabroni is going to. But I could be wrong. Alright, where was I? Chain of predication. What is happening? Which way are you walking? Like, how the hell? There ain't nobody fucking around. It's fucking 9:30 at night. What the hell is everybody doing out? This guy's fucking wobbling like a motherfucker. Alright, just go in the opposite direction. So the chain of predication that composes the matter of a thing, we can relate back to Aristotle's how do I word that? I don't want to say theory of motion and change, but on the principles of motion and change. Thank you. Thank you, Hashem. So the chain of predication is predicated on the principles, the primary principles of change and motion. And motion, not change in motion, but change and motion, because change is a form of motion that doesn't necessarily equate to what we consider to be locomotion, which is a form of motion and change, but not necessarily the form of change and motion that we're talking about. So if you take a butterfly, right? That's a great example. Thank you, Hashem. If you take a butterfly or a moth, one of those creatures that transforms into something completely different. So if you take the life cycle of a butterfly or moth, right? It starts as an egg, and then it hatches, and then it's a little caterpillar, and then the caterpillar starts eating all the leaves. Did you say caterpillar? Yeah, I did. So the little caterpillar then eats all the leaves up, and it gets all of its strength and energy, and then it goes into a cocoon, and then while it's in the cocoon, it liquefies, and then it reforms itself into a fucking winged creature that eventually gets too big for its cocoon, and it breaks free, and then the butterfly is now flying around. So the next time you see a butterfly... Are you fucking with me? So the next time you see a butterfly or a moth, the matter that composes that butterfly, the final form, the essence of the butterfly, is that four-dimensional chain that represents, that contains its history, its biological history. But this isn't necessarily exclusive to biological things. Are trees biological? Yeah. The earth also has matter to it. It has a four-dimensional, five-dimensional timeline to it. Four-dimensional is when we're going forward in time. Five-dimensional is when we're going backwards in time. But when we're going backwards in time, it doesn't necessarily mean we're moving backwards in time from this point in time. What it could mean is that we're also moving back in time from the future to the present to the past, or from the future to the past. Sometimes we're going through the present. Sometimes the present counts as the future. Sometimes the present counts as the past. These guys are gonna walk slow as shit, and they're gonna fucking walk. God. It's alright, I meant to go that way anyway. There was a lady walking her dog, so I came this way so I can get away from the lady walking her dog. You know, there was one fucking night I came out here, it's like 10 o'clock at night. There were people everywhere. And there's a nice spot that's like ways down where I can be loud, and I really can't even be that loud because there's houses. This is the nice spot because I can do whatever the fuck I want over here. But these guys, they're like literally just fucking hanging out over there. And it's not a fucking problem. It's just that when I get near people, you see how I'm getting all fucking crazy? I'm getting distracted. And we're already 27 minutes into this thing. I haven't even touched on what I was talking about. What I was thinking about. Now this motherfucker, come on now. Nigga, it's fucking 9:30 at night. Get your ass inside. Fuck, why can't this be like a dangerous neighborhood when there's nobody around? I don't know what that even means. All right, so what was I saying? Chains of predication, matter, principles of movement and change, predicates, essential predicates, coincidental predicates. And that's not even what I wanted to even get off my chest. Oh, but I was going through the chain of events that took place after we recorded the last video, and I was washing the sheets. I took a shower, came back. I did those 2 portions of chapter 4 of book 1 of posterior analytics. And then I played Dark Souls again for a little bit, but then I was getting my ass whooped at this one part. I was starting to get really pissed off, and I took that as a sign that it was time to stop. Now you're walking back that way? So then, then I turned off Dark Souls, and I opened up the PDF of Ptolemy's Amalgamest. Why do I have Ptolemy's Amalgamest? Because I'm trying to... Well, I didn't even know what the hell it was. I didn't know what it was until... Well, this isn't my first time doing this. This is probably like my 5th or 6th time trying to get into Ptolemy's Tetrabiblios. Which is not an astrology book, by the way. It's an astronomy book. Just like the Amalgamest. There's nothing astrological about it. I don't even know when the hell astrology was even made. Because these guys weren't doing astrology. They were doing astronomy. But when I opened it the other day and I was just perusing through the table of contents. I didn't look at the preface or the introduction. But the only reason I even knew that the book existed is because it's referenced at the very beginning of the Tetrabiblios. It's in like the first paragraph. Where Ptolemy makes it a note to point out that he's not, he doesn't spell it out, but he essentially says, I'm not going to be talking about XYZ because that's already laid out in the Amalgamest. Which is like star charts, lunar and solar configurations in relation to the fixed stars at particular times of year, because the sun is only in front of particular constellations at certain times of the year, and the configurations with the moon, because the moon's going to be behind certain constellations at certain times of the month, but the phase in which the moon is in is predicated on where the sun is located at a particular time of the year. So the moon is going to be in every single sign for at least 2 to 3 days over the course of a month. But it's only going to be in a full, new, or quarter moon phase in a particular sign at a particular time of year. Oh, shit. So we had the Scorpio new moon, or the Scorpio full moon last week, but that only happens once a year. It only happens when the sun is... We're talking about Western astrology. We're not talking about sidereal astrology. So if we're talking about sidereal astrology, then the full moon in Scorpio is actually the full moon in Libra. Because that's... Sidereal astrology is more accurate to the stars in the sky, where Western astrology is more accurate to the solar cycles. I use both, but primarily I use Western. The conversion rates, not a problem. The conversion rate's easy peasy. So if you know what degree and minute that the sun is in Western astrology, fuck it, just fucking call it astrology. Who gives a fuck? When I say astrology, thank you. Just define that real quick. What do you mean by astrology? What I mean by astrology is geometric astronomy. Because at some point, some asshole renamed astronomy into astrology, and now every time I say astrology, I feel like I'm being categorized with astrologers who really don't know what the hell they're talking about necessarily. I mean, they don't not, but I'm not talking about that. See, this is why I wanted a different name for it. Because if I say astronomy, then everyone's going to think I'm talking about pop culture astronomy, which I'm not. I did like saying geometric astronomy. That can we go back to that? So when I'm talking about astrology, I'm talking about geometric astronomy, which is a clock. It's designed to be a clock. And geometric astronomy is predicated, the geometric astronomy I'm going to be talking about moving forward is predicated on the Western zodiac, which is synchronized with the solar cycles. Geometric astronomy has the Earth at the center, and everything goes around the Earth. It's 360 degrees. There's 12 months. The signs, they count as months. So we're going to say there's 12 months. Each month is equal to 30 degrees. So 12 times 30 is 360, okay? It takes 365 and a quarter days and some change for the Earth, for the sun, to orbit 360 degrees. Not 360 days, 360 degrees. Geometric astronomy is the astronomy that Ptolemy is working on. Geometric astronomy is the astronomy that Aristotle's working on too. But we haven't gotten there yet. Although we have to get through Aristotle's book on astronomy before we can even think about moving on to Ptolemy. And I want to so badly. But before we can move on to Aristotle's book on the heavens, which is his astronomy book, we first have to complete Aristotle's physics. We're only on chapter 8 of book 4 of Aristotle's physics, which right now is solely focused on the void and place. What is place? Does it exist? What is the void? Does it exist? Where we leave off is that place is any empty space that can contain a body. Not necessarily a physical body. It could be an incorporeal body, such as sound, color, light. A body of knowledge. So void is place and place is void. Place is a void that contains a body. Void is a place that does not contain a body but can. My favorite example is this example. I keep on, like, my mind keeps on coming back to this. So every time I write about it, I'm getting pissed off because Aristotle's not saying it the way that I want him to say it. It's like, it's fucking driving me nuts. No, what I want him to say is that the void is ignorance. The void is ignorance in the mind. The mind is void of information. When someone is ignorant of something, it's because their mind is void of the knowledge necessary to fill that void of ignorance. That's what I wanted to say so bad. The closest I got to that. The closest he came to it was, he was making an objection to those thinkers of his time who refused, or maybe not refused, but they didn't acknowledge the void as being something that doesn't hold a physical body, a tangible body, which is when he went on and said, so by their logic, essentially he said, by their logic, the void is only something that can hold a physical body but doesn't. And then he said, and I fucking love this too, such a dick. But obviously, the point can't be a void. A point, in geometrical terms, the point. So there's a line, right? So it starts with a line. It starts with a point. 2 points make a line. 3 lines make a surface. And then we make a body from a surface. So it goes a point, a line, a surface, and then a body. And then a magnitude, and then a continuity. Which we'll get more into once we get into on the heavens. Which I got into, I was fucking around with On the Heavens a little while back, like maybe a couple months ago, just to see what it tasted like. And oh my God, it was fucking delicious. He didn't get into, he didn't necessarily get into any high level astronomy stuff, but he was just getting into the basics, very basics. And it was good. Come on, you fucking little shits. I can't stand people. Alright, where was I? So there's a lot of prerequisite work that I'm trying to get through before I can get into like the really juicy stuff. Why am I doing this? That's a great question. That's why we came out, because I wanted to ask God, like, my Lord, I have an idea of what we're doing. Because when I was going through the introduction, the editors, the translators' introduction of the Amalgamest, he's talking about some heavy shit. Like, he's talking about all of the subjects, the subject matter that the reader, that would serve in the reader's best interest to be familiarized before attempting to dive into this particular work. What were some of the prerequisites? Well, sexagesimals. Do you know what a sexagesimal is, my lord? Sexagesimals, which is like ancient Babylonian mathematics for calculating time. It's a base 60 number system. I have no idea how the hell that, I can't even conceive it. Then there's a reference to Euclid's geometry. Now, I'm gonna give myself a pat on the back because I'm not 100% ignorant to Euclid's geometry, because last year I gave myself an erection by opening up Einstein's general theory of special relativity. Again. Because I've had that book under my bed for years. I've been wanting to read it, and I want to get all the fucking way through it, and I want to understand it. How the fuck is there so many fucking fuckers? Everyone's got to go in my direction, and I know, I fucking guarantee it. When we get to that goddamn spot, it's gonna be just filled back and forth and back and forth. Where the fuck was I? Because you know what these fucking assholes, what they usually do is they come up behind me and they say some stupid shit.
Happy birthday, LeBron!
Fucking little fucker. Beat the shit out of him. That's what I really want to do. I mean, my lord, what I want so bad is to just like one of these nights, I want to jump the kids that are on the bikes, just beat the shit out of them. It's not their fault. It's my fault. It's your fault for putting me in this position, because now I'm getting stressed out. You say I'm getting stressed out? Because that little guy, he turned around and he said something, and I was about to take my headphone off and just start with it. Just, what? Because we locked eyes, and the little motherfucker had a cocky look on his face because he knew I couldn't do shit to him, but I wanted to. Oh, this motherfucker, you coming around for another fucking dose? God, in my mind right now, I'm seeing them ride by me again, and I fucking just kick out his tire from underneath him. And then while he's fucking crying, just pound on him. So aggressive. Why am I so aggressive right now? So, focus. All right. Amalgamast. Sexagesimals. Some highly advanced decimal system that I have no idea how the fuck it works. Euclid's geometry. Now on my phone, I do have all 13 books of Euclid's Elements, and I made it through the first chapter of the first book. And it's all very basic stuff, but I don't necessarily understand. Like, there's diagrams that follow. Oh my God, I hate this guy. I can't stand this fucking guy. I really can't stand him. And it's like every fucking time I walk over here, this motherfucker's out here walking this motherfucking dog. I just don't know how to just find a fucking spot where there's no goddamn people. And it's always this motherfucker at night. What fucking time is it? He's always walking right there too. We're never gonna get that. I should have just fucking stayed home. It's already 10 o'clock. It's already fucking, you know what? Motherfucker, I'm going this way. Because I just want to be away from fucking people. Is that too much to ask? These little fuckheads on fucking bikes, motherfuckers on the scooters, and it's not even just the fucking kids, it's the parents too, because I saw the fucking dad with the kids. It's driving me fucking up a goddamn wall. This is why I need my own state, I need my own country, I need my own kingdom, Lord, where it's just me. Nobody else. Why? How is there so much fucking traffic right now? It's 10 o'clock at night in a residential area. Why, my Lord, why am I going so fucking ballistic right now? Like, I want to fucking punch this tree and knock it over. Ugh. Fuck. Because all the lights and all the sounds and all the motion and movement, it's fucking distracting the shit out of me. You fat fuck. Maybe you shouldn't be getting fucking ice cream at 10 o'clock at night, you piece of shit. Go home. Go do the fucking exercises. Fuck. Well, the ice cream place is like fucking bumping right now. You know what? Yeah, just cut through here. Because all fucking day there's people around. Why can't there just be a fucking time when there's no fucking people around? I can't think clearly with so many people just like up my ass. And I'm trying to avoid people. Euclid's geometry. What else? What else, my lord? There's trigonometries, sexagismals, and Euclid's geometry. So I have to, so I did a little research into this because I've never taken geometry class nor trigonometry class. So I don't even know where to start. So what I ended up finding out is that the prerequisite for trigonometry is geometry, and the prerequisite for geometry is algebra. So what that means is that I have to re-educate myself on algebra, geometry, and learn trigonometry. How are you going to do that? Well, thank you, Lord, thank you, Hashem, for Khan Academy. What's Khan Academy? Well, Khan Academy is my go-to resource for when I want to learn stuff related to school, elementary school, and middle school, and high school, and college. About 7 years ago, yep. 7 years ago, I was doing an experiment. I didn't like how stupid I was. I used to think I was really, I'm not proud of my education. I wasn't proud of my education. And one of the things I used to blame my shitty life on was the fact that I had no education. Well, not no education. I completed high school and I had some college, but I never finished college. And even when I was going to college for, would have absolutely no practical application to it. Well, I mean, not that it didn't. But I didn't have what I considered to be a formal education enough to be a professional. Now, that's not to say that I wasn't a professional with what I did, because I was. And when it comes to large format digital printing, I would say that I know my shit inside out. But being an expert, a professional in the large format digital printing industry, though it has its perks, I hate it. I hate the industry. I hate everything about it. So I thought, I had this idea while I was working at my large format digital printing job. Why don't I don't know how I found Khan Academy, but it's for like homeschooling. And so I was homeschooling myself at work because I was so proficient at my job. That I would finish about a week's worth of work in a couple days. And that would leave me with a lot of free time on my hands. And I couldn't necessarily just leave after an hour. Even as a salaried employee, I had to maintain a minimum, of like 35 hours so that I can get paid for my 40. But what that ultimately led to was me re-educating myself on company time, which I didn't mind. I'm not complaining about that. I did lots of things on company time that, had the company known I was doing them, they probably, I'm not going to say they would have fired me, but they probably would have frowned on me and shook their finger. There were a few things I was doing that they probably would have fired me for, but Like what? You want to get into this now? I took on a data entry job. I took on a second job once, and it was data entry. It was all done online. Oh shit. So it was all done online in such a way that what you do is you log on to the company's website, and then you just enter data, and it clocks you for how long. You keep track of your time and the work that you're doing, and then they pay you for it. It's like you can do it from anywhere. You can do it from home, you can do it from the office, you can do it on the beach. You can do it anywhere that you have internet access. I was doing it at work. I would finish my week's worth of work, and then I would do my data entry stuff. But I was sneaky with it. It's really mind-numbing shit that I really did. I had absolutely no interest in doing whatsoever. There's motherfuckers that are walking a dog right behind me. I'm in a fucking church parking lot. Are you fucking kidding me? I can't fucking escape. Like, I came this way so I can get the fuck away from people. And I'm just making sure that my priest friends don't even see me. Because I'm walking by the parish right now. But I have to cut through here to get to the other side. An hour in. I've not accomplished a fucking thing. Thank you, Shem. So once I would have my printers running, because usually a print job, I mean, you send like 50 feet, 100 feet to print on a large format printer. That's going to take all day. And or you got several jobs lined up in the queue, and everything's just automated. It's very easy. Especially once you have all the color configurations, all the color formulas figured out, mapped out. I mean, granted, it doesn't mean that you also want to keep an eye on everything that you're printing too, to make sure the print heads aren't fucking up on you. But for the most part, I had enough free time where I can do the things that I needed to do to better myself. And one of those things happened to be using Khan Academy to relearn mathematics. And I only got up to, I think, 6th or 7th grade math before I quit that job, and I couldn't continue doing it. But the ultimate idea that I wanted, that I had envisioned, was I was going to use Khan Academy as a means of learning calculus. But in order to get the calculus, I had to get through all the other shit first. So that's kind of the idea that I'm thinking. But I don't know. Why are you walking dogs in the goddamn church parking lot? Why would you do that? So why is it bothering me so much? Why are people bothering me so much? This spot over here, this is where we're always walking all day, every day. So I know we don't have to necessarily worry or trouble ourselves with like fucking going nuts about people walking by. Except for that one fucking cop that loves driving by at night. I hate when fucking cops drive by. It makes me think that they think that I'm doing something wrong. And then the motherfucker's gonna come over. Can I see your ID? I don't have any ID on me, man. And plus, if I did, it's all expired. I have my fucking keys. God damn it. Alright, so essentially, my lord, I need to learn I need to learn algebra again. Then I gotta learn geometry for the first time. Then I gotta learn trigonometry for the first time. And then I have to go backwards and figure out how the hell to do sexagesimals. I have no idea how to do that. But I went out for a cigarette right afterwards, and the thought coming to me is, you already know this stuff. Don't worry about it. What do you mean I already know this stuff? It's locked up in your matter. Try to imagine. What? Try to imagine. I want you to do a mental game with me, a mental exercise. Okay? It's gonna make a lot. These fucking cocksuckers. They're coming the same way I am. Oh my god. Are they gonna fucking walk this way too? Jesus fucking Christ. I'm going this way because there's houses that way, and I want to be able to talk. Oh shit! Because I can't fucking talk in the fucking house because my mother's there. I need an empty house with nobody the fuck in it. Or a nice neighborhood where there's no one but me. Alright, so, you feel better? I feel better, thank you. So now what I want you to do, I want you to play this little mental game with me, please. So when I told you earlier that you already know this stuff, you already know trigonometry. You never studied it before, but you already know it. You never studied geometry, but you know it. You know basic algebra from fucking high school, but you already know the advanced stuff. All this stuff's gonna come really easy to you, but here's what I want you to understand, right? We were talking about matter and ancestral memory and genetic memory and shit like that. All right. So check this out. We're gonna play a brain game. You ready? I'm ready. Okay. So what I want you to do, I want you just to imagine that somewhere along your ancestral memories, right? You had ancestors who were alive at the same time that Ptolemy was writing his books and Aristotle was writing his books, right? I want you to imagine that one of your ancestors knew this shit better than they did. If it helps you, if it really helps you, because we don't have the specific datum to validate any of this stuff, but there's nothing to say that there's nothing preventing this from being the case. Okay, this is really important. There's nothing preventing this from being the case. Say that. There's nothing preventing this from being the case. Okay. What I want you to imagine, just for the sake of argument, doesn't mean nothing saying that this is absolute, but just for the sake of what we're doing. What we're gonna be doing for the next months, the next years, the next fucking decades, however fucking long all this stuff goes on for, is I want you to imagine that you're a descendant of Ptolemy, and that you're a descendant of Aristotle. Okay? I'm not saying that's absolutely the case. We might never find the evidence to back that up. Anything more than what we're doing right now. But what I just want you to do for the time being, okay, is just imagine that it's not impossible. Okay? I could do that. All right, good. Now, On top of that, what I need you to do, I need you to tell me why I'm asking you to do that. Okay. You're asking me to do that because as a descendant of Ptolemy, a descendant of Aristotle, a descendant of King David, a descendant of Yeshua Rabbeinu, a descendant of Muhammad, that would explain why all of these works, why all of their works are so intuitive to me, and I don't really have to put too much time and effort into it. All I do is just copy a couple things down or read a couple things and, oh, I get it. That makes sense. I understand. So that would mean that if I have ancestors who were ancient astronomers, right, in my past life, because our ancestors are our past lives. So what you're saying is, imagine that I'm a descendant of these people, because that would mean that I was them in a past life. And if I was them in my past life, that means that all of their memories are my memories, encoded within my DNA. Yeah? Precisely that. So now what I need you to do is repeat after me. I already know this shit. I just have to remember it. All right. I don't not like that idea. Because I already know this shit. I just have to remember it. And when I remember it, I'm going to think back to that time that we did this. Thank you, Hashem. Oh my God. I fucking love you. I feel like Neo. After he downloaded Kung Fu, I know Kung Fu. Yeah. So just for the sake of for the sake of discussion, just imagine that all of the things that you want to learn, that you're trying to learn, it's not that you're learning it, it's that you're trying to remember it. And all of the means in which you need to go about in order to remember these things is what we're doing right now. So try to imagine that I'm your future self communicating with you telepathically, right? So what I want you to do is like really paint the picture in your mind that this back and forth conversation that we're having, right? You're following me? You know what I'm talking about? Yes. I know what you're talking about. Okay. So try to imagine that I come from a future where you have this shit already figured out. My job, just like I told you when you were a kid. Oh, I'm getting like the bumps. I'm getting the goosebumps. Can you see it? Yeah. Nah, they're not really popping. But I can feel it. Getting chills. Okay? Try to imagine that me, your future self, that I can shift my consciousness, my conscious awareness into the past and actually have conversations with you. Like we're doing right now. So I come from a future where you know all the stuff. I'm just here to let you know that it's not that daunting of a task. It's actually going to be a lot easier than what you think it is. Trust me. It's not going to be like, it's not going to be like you're going to wake up tomorrow and remember everything. It's just, how do I put it? I'm just guiding you down the path that you need to go to ensure that you evolve into me. And it's really not going to take you all that long either. It's actually going to be really quick. It's not going to be like all the fucking past 7 years. All the past everything we did over the past 7 years is actually preparing you for right now. It's a whole new different way of learning, and it's going to be a lot quicker and a lot more efficient too. But I need you to go through the books, because all the work that you're doing with Aristotle, right? You're training your mind how to think like that. There comes a point in the near future where you don't have to write anything down anymore. You just read it. Just like that book on tantric sex that you downloaded today. You not only do you finish it, but take into consideration what we learned from Ethics of the Fathers. Chapter 4, I believe. He who studies Torah for the sake of doing will receive more opportunities to learn, to teach, to observe, and to do. So take that tantric book into consideration and try to imagine that your intention with the tantric book, just like your intention with posterior analytics and prior analytics and Ptolemy's books, it's not just to learn, but to do. You're learning so that you can do. Now that principle, the rabbis, they tend to isolate it with Torah, but you can insert your favorite subject here when it says the Torah, because you're a Jew, so now you get all the perks of being a Jew. You know what I mean? So he who studies this geometric astronomy for the sake of doing will receive more opportunities to learn, to teach, to observe, and to do. He who studies tantric for the sake of doing will receive more opportunities to learn, teach, observe, and do. I know that's a big one. That's a biggie for you. Yes. One hour, 13 minutes. So allow me to be the messenger for the Lord, because it's a little bit late at night. There's nobody around, and it's safe that we can do this right now. No one's gonna really notice. And even if someone is watching this, they're probably not gonna get what's going on. Come on, motherfucker. Okay, I'm feeling all of this. I really am. Good. Because I want you to think back to earlier today when we were going through the predicates with Aristotle, right? You're getting all fucked up. You wanted to believe that you didn't understand it as well as you do. Meanwhile, you understand it better than people who teach it. Because the way you understand predicates and predication is an advanced form of what they teach in elementary school, but they don't teach it anywhere else that I'm aware of. How far in the future do you come from? Everywhere. Doesn't even matter. Time doesn't. Just imagine that time doesn't exist for me. I'm the part of you that is so timeless. The only thing above me is God. Derek Mashiach al-Mahdi. Yep, that's exactly it. The Rabbi of Rabbis. The Mahdi of Mahdis, the Mashiach of Mashiachs. And that also goes for the sexagesmals. The secret, the mysteries of the sexagesmal is all locked up in your DNA. Once you find out how to do it, it's gonna be like second nature. Trust me. And it's fucking dope. I can imagine all this. I can see it. What are you thinking? I'm thinking about that clip I was watching from Mass Effect 3, where Leviathan is telling Shepard that he's a threat to the Reapers. And then and the reason he's a threat to the Reapers is because he believes that he can stop them. And because he believes that he can do it, is why he did it. So now what I want you to think about is, think about all those times that you believe that you can do something, all the things that you can do now, and how it all is predicated on the fact that you believed that you could do it. And because you believed you can do it, you did it. But now we're going to go a step even further and say that all the things that it is that you want to learn, you already know the things. All right, I think we should go home now. It's 22:22. Yeah. So this is gonna get pretty cool, yeah? Oh yeah. Especially once you start to do when you get the opportunity to teach Tantra. That I'm really excited for. Why? Because my body is so starved of affection, physical affection from another human being. I would say that it's borderline criminal. And I know that life does not revolve around sex and physical affection, but according to Torah, physical affection is part of a healthy diet. It's as important as food. All right, I feel better now. I don't feel as... I'm going to imagine... Say it. Well, I was just thinking about what you said about my ancestry. I'm trying to imagine a time in the future where we actually get confirmation about all of the ancestors that I have, that I don't necessarily know about for certain. The ones that I know that I'm a descendant of, but I don't know, you know what I mean? Actually, that was there earlier today. Okay. Alright. We got this. We totally got this. So we're gonna go home. It's right around the corner. We're gonna eat something, and then we're gonna go back into the room and we're gonna do stuff. How long is this? An hour and 20 minutes? How are you feeling? I'm feeling good, thank you. Thank you, Hashem. See, now if all those people weren't on the bike path with you, then you wouldn't have went the route that you did and you wouldn't have had the breakthroughs that we had. You're doing wonderful. Give yourself a pat on the back. Thank you. Well, thank you for believing in yourself. Myself. Alright. Oh, you know what I'm remembering? I'm remembering that scene from Dune, the first one, where Muad'Dib is fighting Roth Theta. The book version, not the movie version. Where Fade Rotha, where Fade cuts him with a knife and he panics for a second. But then it clicks. His combat training kicks in. And he realizes that had to happen so that he could win. All right, this is good. This is good. This is all good. I was just like a little overwhelmed earlier. Want to develop an app? Yes. I want to develop an app so that planetary time is the default time on my phone. You want to develop an app? It's a Rick and Morty reference. If you haven't watched Rick and Morty, then you wouldn't get it. No, nobody wants to make an app with you. Are you sure? It's a good app. Yes, nobody wants to make an app with you. Oh, God, my back. My... Alright. Hi, Shem, is there anything else? Is there anything else worth noting before we close out for the evening? I mean, I'm thinking that we'll focus on Tanya. I kind of want to get back to Tanya, but I also want to finish that chapter. Posterior analytics. All right. Alright, we're good. Alright, thank you, Shem. I needed that. I guess we'll pick this up tomorrow. Am I still up? Yep. Alright, bye-bye.